Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 7 Minutes. I am Chris Wright, your host, with my co-host, Beverly Swim. Say hello, Beverly.
Hi, everyone.
Awesome. Great. So listen, I'm very excited today. Longtime friend, and we've been following each other and seeing each other in the same places for years. We always wind up in some similar spots. Our guest today is Maria Bortugno. She's an interior decorator.
You did my name, Chris. You did it.
I did it, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. So the name of your company is B Designs Interior. Is that correct?
Yes.
Awesome. So listen, you went to FIT, right?
Yes.
A long time ago.
Yeah, long time ago. long time ago. Many
Right.
months ago. Okay.
So FIT means what? Fashion Institute of Technology?
Yes, sir.
And that's in Manhattan, correct?
Yes.
So tell me about
27th Street between 6th and 7th Avenues.
Now, are you from New York? No, you said you went to Ichabod Crane. You told me that you went to Ichabod Crane. So you're from this area, upstate New York. So what made you decide to go to school in Manhattan?
Well, it's the best fashion and interior design school in the world. That would be why. It was very hard to get in. My family's from downstate, though. So even though my parents moved up here, I was kind of raised on Green Acres, no joke. My father wanted to own a farm, and my mother was a sophisticated, chic, elegant woman who, for no intents and purposes, would go out every time a tractor ran down the road and try and catch the dust so it wouldn't get in the house. I swear to God, that's how I was raised. And so my family was mostly downstate, and still mostly is, but we moved up here for my father's dream. So it was natural, but FIT was a very difficult school to get into. They're very hard to get into, and it was a big thing for me, but I always wanted to do something creative. You had to submit your portfolio, which back then meant all of your drawings, all of your paintings. You had somebody sponsor you, and then they looked at your artwork, and based on that, you either got an invitation to interview or not. And I had an interview, and then when you're there, they actually test you. They make you take an art class where you draw from life, which I never had, to make sure it was your actual artwork, because they have people send in fake artwork to try and get past. It's a very, very competitive school. Recently, in the last few years, it's been ranked #2 in the world for interior design. I don't know that it ranked that high back then for interior design. I knew it ranked that high for fashion, which was my original goal. And I ended up getting, 2 degrees from them. So if I did not want to be an interior designer, I really did not want to be an interior designer. And I worked in the fashion industry for years. And long story short, I ended up being an interior designer. And this is what I meant to do. So I guess we don't always know what we're meant to do. I think my mother-in-law has an expression: you're going to be who you're going to be. Mm-hmm. And this just kept presenting itself. More and more people just calling, and the phone kept ringing. And I don't mean to make this look easy, because my job is not what people think it is. I don't think no job ever is, but I'm here many trips around the sun later.
And that was kind of my next question. Why interior design? Because I think you're the only interior designer that I know. Beverly, do you know any interior designers?
People who do like bathroom remodels and things like that.
Yeah, because it might not be what people think it is. So what is interior design?
Interior design, how do I put this? We do everything from picking out your furniture to deciding what walls can get knocked down. Electric, we have to know a little bit about electric. We have to know a little bit about plumbing. We have to know a little bit about walls and everything that's going on in building industry, in the lighting industry. If you're working in the education field for interior design, you're going to want to know about furniture systems, what's popular, what trends are. People often think we're decorators. Decorators don't need a formal education or degree. We do. We have to have continuing education credits, because you don't want someone walking in the door not knowing if that wall can come out, or if, you know, what lighting systems work, or true story, a number of years ago, I was working in a big bathroom remodel. In fact, it's still the biggest bathroom remodel I ever did. And the electrician wasn't listening to me, which is not uncommon because contractors don't like taking direction from women. I hate to say it, but it's true. And most contractors are male, so I end up referring them all their business. So really all they need to do is show up, and I'm going to be specifying the lighting, the plumbing, everything goes through me. I CC'd the homeowner and the electrician that he needed. This was back when LEDs were brand new and it was state of the art, and that he needed a special light switch for these lights. Now, each one of these lights were crystal. They were probably $500 a piece 15 years ago, and there were 3 of them going over a very large bathroom vanity. The bathroom was probably 1,000 square feet without exaggeration, and it's all marble. The shower was 10 feet by 10 feet. It's still there. It's one of my best clients and personal best friends. And he refused to listen to me and didn't put in the correct switches. Long story short, he blew up the lights. He could have caused the house to burn down. That's a perfect example of, this is why I go to get continuing education credits, and why contractors don't like to listen to me. So that was a true story, and then actually threatened the homeowner and said it's either her or me. And she says, well, since, again, this is a true story, since I can find other electricians and it's much harder to find a good interior designer, I guess you're going to have to go. But in the meantime, you're paying for the repair of my lights, because I saw in the email that Maria CC'd you that this is what needed to happen, and you intentionally ignored her instructions. So that is the difference between a designer and a decorator. Now, designers can also do decorating, but decorators can't do designing. So we kind of have to know a little bit about everything. Doesn't mean we're great at everything. Doesn't mean we don't have specialties, but lighting design tends to be one of my passionate favorite things. So if there is a new lighting class that I can take for continuing ed, I'm there. And it's probably my porn. If you come look over my shoulder, my husband likes to come over and look over my shoulder and see what I'm looking at when I'm bored on the internet. And 9 times out of 10, I will be looking at lighting, because I love.
On your website, you have a gorgeous picture of a lighting fixture over top of a dining room table. It is the most unique. I absolutely fell in love with it when I saw it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to get one of those.
Well, thank you. I try not to repeat my work. Some of my clients actually have me write it into their contracts, not that someone else can't go find it, because you can just Google search things nowadays. It's not hard to do, but I try not to repeat my work. I really believe, and this was the beginning of my business and the foundation for how I work with my clients. There's no 2 homeowners that are the same. All your personalities are different. You may not know, most homeowners don't know what they want, but it's my job to kind of figure that out, get in your head like a psychologist. I'm like a house psychologist, who you are, colors you may not know you like. It is really common for people to discover on this journey that they will, I didn't know I liked this. I had no idea. I just did a dining room, and it's not completely finished, but we just installed a beautiful chandelier last week and 2 wall sconces. And initially the homeowner didn't want to see the bulbs. She was, I can't stand it. Well, the chandelier we got showed the bulbs. And she also hated, some people call them hats. They're just small shades, white shades on wall sconces. The sconces that we ended up getting had shades. So you come to the table oftentimes with prejudices. You don't really know why they're there. And my job is to help you let your guard down, so that
you help them get out of their own way.
Yes.
Pretty much. When I think of interior design, generally people are going to think of people with a posh lifestyle, people that are affluent, have a lot of money, but you help the little guy too. I know some people who you've helped that have basic single family homes in Saratoga County or wherever. And you don't necessarily have to be wealthy to hire an interior designer. Tell me about the average Joe and Mary that just want you to spruce up their home a little bit. How do you help them?
It depends on what their needs are. Most people have made expensive interior design and decorating mistakes. They think they don't need help, and they end up picking out things and going, I just blew all this money. So I'm not cheap, Chris. There is that. But at the same time, it's easier to spend an initial investment in someone like myself who's a professional and can guide you and help you prevent expensive mistakes than to spend thousands of dollars. I'll give an example. A client of mine who should know better didn't call me, did her whole house, and it's a middle-class house, but she had me do her whole house, and it was very modern. And her brother was coming into town, so she went to a store and bought some quick off the floor furniture, didn't measure, and then called me the week after and go, please don't be mad at me. I had to buy some furniture. My brother was coming. None of it fits. And I don't know what to do. Shame on me. I should have called you. And so we ended up finding places in the home we could put the furniture, and we had to buy all new furniture again. So for a smaller investment, I tell people, if you can afford me, I have, packages. Like, for instance, if you just want paint colors, that's a big request. Someone please help me pick out paint colors for my house. I'm lost. Those are very daunting. So I have packages that are on the lower end for people that can, to help them out. And then sometimes it just morphs and it just keeps going because they find value in it. So that's really the crux of it. So I do have some wealthy clients, and I have a lot of what I call my meat potato or my favorite people, because they're so appreciative. There's so much more appreciative.
I know some of them too, because I would walk into their house and I go, oh my God, this kitchen is amazing. And they'll say, Maria. And I go, really? So that if I was to say, you know what, I'm tired of this kitchen, I want to redesign it, I have no idea what I'm doing. Is that like a call Maria call?
It is a call Maria call.
Okay.
Kitchen baths are a big thing, and that's a big place where people make mistakes and have regrets. And they'll go, I wish I had done this. So sometimes I'll just point out things like, I'm working on one right now, and I said to the client, and it's actually one of my installers' wives, and I said, do you need more storage space or more surface space? And she said, what do you mean? I said, well, do you need space on the countertops to do things, or do you really need more storage space? And what type of storage space do you need? Do you and those are, people don't think about that. They think, I want you to think about your lifestyle, and if you're downsizing, the things that if you had a family before, you're not going to necessarily need the same storage space. No, you may now suddenly find your husband's into baking bread, so countertop space is better. It's a lot of questions. It's that kind of thing. So yes, it's a call Maria.
That's awesome.
Please don't knock walls down and then call me after everything's been destroyed and this happens and go, I need help. I don't know what to do. We thought we could handle this, and now I have no walls and no bathroom. Truth. And my contractors are booked 6 months out, and it kind of, it's not my fault, and I feel bad, but that happens too. Yes. So if you're going to do major construction, if you're considering about doing major construction inside, I don't do outside, inside. Yeah. You pick up the phone and you call me. If you're going to buy furniture, pick up the phone and call me, because most people don't measure, and I measure. My favorite tool, and I have 2 of them in my bag at all times. I have a full size 35-foot tape measure, and then I have a little tape measure. I measure everything. If I'm in a store shopping for a customer, I measure the furniture. I'll look at the specs. If I'm in someone's home, I'm measuring the walls. I'm measuring everything. The light, I measure 3 times, 4 times sometimes, just to be
That's
sure.
great.
Yeah. Listen, Maria, what is the strangest thing you've had to fix?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
You go into someone's home. What's the strangest thing you've had to fix or overcome? Somebody had to have something, or, oh my goodness, why is that in your home?
Oh gosh, you know, I don't know. I have to think about that. Shoot, I almost swore. Um, a swimming pool. I don't know that I had to fix it, but I had to decorate the space. It was an indoor swimming pool. It just occurred to me for a couple that had downsized. So they built this new home, a ranch. It was out in Slenderlands. You just made me think of that. And they built an indoor swimming pool. The woman has arthritis, so she needed a swimming pool that she could swim in year round. It was a lap pool. But the one in the room decorated.
Wow.
And
Now,
now odd because you know, there's chlorine, and so I had to do a little bit of research on what would hold up with a chlorinated room, because they did not want patio furniture in this room. So it was interesting. It was interesting. Chris, what were you gonna say? And I'm sure something else will prop up after I hang up this phone, but you know, after this meeting, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. That I've seen a lot of things. I'm for a living, one of these days I'm going to write a book.
yeah.
And change people's names to protect the innocent, because I am in your home. I am in your home sometimes 8 hours, 4 or 5 days a week, managing contractors. So I see and hear and witness things.
I can imagine. Now, what about holiday decorations? People are real picky about holiday decorations. Do you do those?
I do them. Yes, I do them a lot. And one of my specialties also has become, I also do custom floral arrangements, because high-end, you know, silk and real touch floral arrangements, because you can go to a store, you can go to Home Goods and get really decent ones, but they're not unique. So some of my clients will ask me to do floral arrangements so that they have floral arrangements year round, but no one else will have. And that's the whole thing. If you hire a designer, you want stuff that no one else has. Otherwise, it's kind of no point. So I do a lot of that as well. But Christmas decorations, I decorate trees. I do a lot. I'll put 3, 4, 5 trees in a house. It's getting harder and harder because, you know, I'm going up and down stairs and up and down ladders and stuff. But I do enjoy that. That's that can be a lot of fun and interesting.
You're probably thinking, Chris, why did you mention that?
Oh, lady. So, you know, getting harder each year, every step at the same time. It's really rewarding to stand back and go, oh, that's really pretty. So it's no pain, no gain, no risk, no reward. I don't know what to say about that, but it makes people happy. You know, they come home and their house is all decorated, and that's one of my clients has nicknamed me the design fairy. She'll come home and she gives me the keys, and I have keys to most of my clients' homes or passcodes, whatever, and they come home and it's all done. And then they walk in the door and it's like a huge surprise. Yeah. So I do it all. I'm there for the installations. I design it. I do it in digital. I do everything in digital now. So it looks like a picture before they make a decision. That's also helpful.
I love this stuff. I mean, I could go. I know I do. I'm so into it. Beverly likes to. She asks lifestyle questions. Beverly, you have any lifestyle questions for Maria?
I would ask, how do you stay organized with all the different projects that you have going?
That's a mighty fine question. I'm not even sure how.
See, she's good. She's good. She's good with the lifestyle stuff. I love her to handle those.
I try and write everything down. I'm always looking at my calendar, like the night before every day. And when I go to bed at night, I pull up the next day's calendar so I know what's on the agenda for the day. You know, where do I have to be at such and such time? Do I have a meeting? Do I have to go, like today I had to go pick out fabrics for a client I'm meeting with tomorrow for window treatments. So so I make a lot of lists, but sometimes I will literally wake up and I wish I were exaggerating, in the middle of the night and go, oh my God, I forgot to order that wallpaper. And just get up in the middle of the night, go in my office. That's the advantage of working from home, and go, click, 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 let's get the order in. But I think stuff's always in my mind. I love what I do, and I'm very conscientious, but I have like 7 or 8 projects going on right now. It's a lot to have. So there's a lot of moving parts and pieces, and a couple of them are whole homes. So a lot of moving parts and pieces. The hardest part would be the geography of it. I'm in Lake George, I'm in Castleton, I'm in Delmar, I'm in Loudonville. Those are all neighborhoods I'm working in at the same time. So that becomes a logistical problem. I tell my clients, I could do more if you all invest and get me a helicopter. Because then I can just like fly to your house, because it always seems like, Maria, I need you. And I'm like, I can't come. I'm with someone else. I have one client, those famous words to me are always like, I always forget I'm not your only client. And I'm like, no, but I still love you.
So I have a question though. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Beverly.
Do you find that, so creative is right brain?
Yes.
And all this organization and the logistics and the ordering and all the supplies and your clients, all that is left brain. So do you find yourself having trouble with a balance there?
I find myself having trouble with the balance, not so much because of left and right brain, just because the time consuming nature of all the orders is a mighty fine question. But weird thing about me, I learned when I was in art school. We used to do these at FIT. We used to do these drawings and make you draw with your right hand, and they'd make you draw with your left hand. And what I found out is I'm actually ambidextrous. So I'm equally left and right brained, which is an odd thing to be. It's not common, but I believe it's what's helped me with business, because I think the number one reason a lot of decorators or designers fail is they might have talent, but they don't know how to run the business portion of it. So I find that sometimes my two sides can argue with one another, but as a designer, I can be very, very practical. So I'll talk about the surfaces. I'll talk about, okay, maybe this isn't my ideal choice, may not be as pretty as choice 1, but you're not going to tire of it, and you're going to use it, and you're going to enjoy it. So I can be very practical, although I want everything to be pretty. I find there's usually a form meets function. I hate to say that, but it's true. It's hard. Now the hardest thing is the time, because when I sit down to do orders, and I can be ordering 50, 60 window treatments, for instance, blinds and shades, and they're all of different parts and pieces and different color combinations, different measurements, and their line items. I literally turn off my phone, don't turn off the computer background. And if my husband walks into my office, I just give him a dirty look.
And that works.
Don't even, I need to do this. I need focused time.
And the funny thing is, your husband is so funny that he probably just like jokes around you and pokes you and all kinds of stuff, right?
He is the reason I'm alive, I swear to God, because he makes me laugh when I just go, ah! And I do the same for Demo as well. He'll come up here and then, don't take this, I don't know how to say this, it's a little off color, not really.
We like off color, that's fine, go ahead.
I come and sit in my chair in my office, it's across from my desk, like a naughty schoolboy, and be like, can you please help me? I'll be like, so we do that for each other. We are that close. We really are. I mean, Chris, I think, we really are that close. We're that disgusting couple, but we help balance one another.
Disgusting. Beverly and her husband's the same way. So that's
it's a wonderful thing if you can find it. It's but you'll have me, read some things, and I'll have him read some things before I send them out. But I'll be like, Demo, tell me what to do. I'm in hell, and I say, tell me a joke, do something and make me laugh. But that is probably what gets me through it. He makes me laugh. We wake up in the morning and we tease each other and start cracking jokes. And at the end of the day, every day, we sit down to dinner and we try to sit down together and focus on one another and not social media and not the news. And I'll remind them every once in a while, I'm like, Demo, this is dinner. Because, you know, I'm kind of lucky. We're kind of lucky. We have one another. I think it's a rare thing.
All right. Well, listen, we're running out of time, and Beverly likes to ask the last question of the day.
What do we have in store from you next?
What's next for you?
What's next for me? I'm working, I don't know. I'm working on a lot of homes. I'm working on my first big Lake George property, and it's a big one, a really big one. You have to stay tuned for that. It's a major property up in Lake George. Working on a bunch of new projects, bathroom remodels, kitchen remodels, but I'm also considering writing a book. So
there you go.
That is something that's in the back of my mind. It's coming from an ethnic background, coming from an Italian background. I'm watching all of the old-fashioned ethnic families disappear, as are their home styles. So I feel like someone needs to document all these houses before they're gone. Greek homes where there's statuary on their front. I'm sorry, I love that. You know, it's going to go away because someone's going to sell it, someone's going to buy it, and then someone's going to rip it all out, and they're going to be gone. So part of me is starting to document, this is true. When I see something special like that, I want to document it. I want to know the history of it. I want to know the family that lived there. What's behind here? When did they come to America? We're losing that. We're losing that part of this country, and it's becoming, it's just gone. And I feel bad for all that architecture disappearing because everybody wants it to look the same. So all the original colonials are being changed to Nouveau. And I'd rather have the original architecture. It adds a lot of personality to a community. So I'm trying to document whenever I'm conscious of it. And I'd like to write about that. And I'd like to, my grandparents and you know, the kitchen in the basement and all of that stuff. It's disappearing.
Well, thank you, Maria. We're so happy you came on today. And listen, this is going to be a good one because you gave us a lot to think about. And I could talk to you for hours about this because I'm interested in that field. So, Beverly, we all set?
Yes. Thank you so much, Maria. It was wonderful talking to you.
Thank you.
Nice talking with you, Beverly. Good talking. Good seeing you again, Chris. Have a good night, both of you.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye-bye.